Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Monday, October 5. Public schools resumed lessons today, with students remaining at home and receiving the teaching and learning experience in a number of different ways. With in-class teaching prohibited due to the COVID-19 pandemic, lessons are being delivered through a number of approaches, namely online classes through the Google Learning Management System and the broadcasting of lessons on dedicated free-to-air and cable television channels as well as radio stations. The Education Ministry is also providing learning kits for students to utilize, along with their textbooks and worksheets at home. In her back-to-school message on Sunday, Minister Favour Williams said the ministry was prioritizing psychosocial programs for the first 3 days of school to ensure that students are in the right state of mind for the academic activities.
The psychosocial sessions will seek to address their mental health and well-being, improve their capacity to cope with the emotional challenges, and will help to mitigate the impact of the stresses in their environment.
In an earlier press briefing, the minister said the psychosocial plan, which was being developed by the Guidance and Counseling Unit, would guide interventions during the first term of the new academic year.
The unit will continue to support guidance counselors to develop and implement psychosocial plans at the school level, and will monitor the progress for greater impact. All schools are expected to implement a psychosocial plan.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Education says the full complement of textbooks needed by schools for the new academic term has been provided. Minister Williams says $826 million is being spent on the acquisition of textbooks, including electronic books and learning apps. At the lower primary level, that is grades 1 to 3, the usual workbooks are being provided for integrated studies and mathematics. For the first time, the ministry is also providing workbooks for the upper primary level at grades 5 and 6.
This initiative, we believe, will assist in alleviating the financial challenges being faced by parents during this COVID-19 pandemic.
The minister was addressing a recent virtual press conference. Additionally, secondary students in grades 7 to 11 will have access to hard copy workbooks and textbooks. The ministry will be piloting e-books and other e-content for the various subject areas at a cost of approximately $200 million.
38,000 e-books are being procured for the new school year for the specified subject areas at the secondary level. So for the grade 9 students, there will be e-books available in the separate science. For grades 7 to 11, e-books will be available in English language. For grades 10 and 11 students, e-books will be available in Principles of Business. And again, for grades 10 and 11 students as well, there'll be e-books in Principles of Accounts.
Government is moving to install smart boards in lockup facilities and have more virtual hearings in the criminal justice system. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck says the installation of smart boards will allow persons in police lockups to participate in virtual hearings and trials without the need to physically transport them to court.
We are working with the Ministry of National Security to have a smart board in the prisons, in the jail houses. We have them in the courts? No. So that accused persons can remain in the lockups. And at the lockups, they can see exactly what is happening in the court. They can see their attorney mentioning their cases or applying for bail. And eventually, I hope, trials can be done virtually.
Minister Chuck was speaking last Friday at a function to hand over office equipment at the Justice Training Institute in St. Andrew. He says the staging of virtual trials will lessen the administrative work and cost associated with transporting accused persons from lockups to the courts. The minister asserts that while many Jamaicans are still getting accustomed to having virtual meetings, virtual trials will have to become the norm because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Jamaica has received its first ever national anti-doping mobile unit. The newly retrofitted unit was officially handed over to the Jamaica Anti-Doping Commission recently by Sports Minister Olivia Grange. The unit will allow the Commission to conduct more in-competition and out-of-competition tests in remote locations and will increase the efficiency of the national anti-doping program. Minister Grange says the unit is the second in the world to be operated by a national anti-doping organization.
So, Jamaica has now introduced a unit, and the only other national anti-doping organization in the world that has a similar unit is the Japan Anti-Doping Organization. So we're very proud to be one of two.
The unit comes equipped with wheelchair ramps, support rails, restrooms for doping control, waiting areas to accommodate athletes and support personnel, as well as storage areas.
It is retrofitted to facilitate able-bodied athletes, athletes with disabilities, and Paralympians. So we cover the wide spectrum of the constituents that we have to serve.
And finally, the Transport Ministry has moved to resolve challenges with the classification and payments of COVID-19 grants to owners and operators of public passenger vehicles, PPVs, under government's We Care program. Under the program, only PPV owners and operators who were licensed by the Transport Authority up to April 30, 2020 and applied to the Ministry of Finance by June 30, 2020 would qualify for the grant. The information was disclosed following a meeting on Tuesday with the Transport Authority and representatives of the Auditor General's Department and the Ministry of Finance. The We Care program is a temporary cash transfer initiative rolled out by the Ministry of Finance in April of this year to help cushion the economic fallout on individuals and businesses impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.